In this video, we're going to review our defensive performance against Etobicoke. Defense, there's a lot going on, and I thought we did a reasonably good job. I would call it about a 75% in limiting penetration, helping, switching, and dealing with the screen. Continue to work on defending the hot spot or the weak side post on rotation. We'll also have a look at release, at directing to the middle on the stunting piece, also boxing out and running back. How do we do with dealing with this screen? We do get back to some kind of semblance of defense, but we have to remember to know where the ball is. This box out though, you're applying pressure up court. The back row has to make some decisions. The strong side would try to take away the pass and the weak side rotate through. On this sequence, we do reasonably well with keeping the ball out by dealing with the screens. Here we see Ali and Leah do that. We miss on shooting the gap. Closeout looks reasonable, but then how do we do with the box out? Remember, in stunting, we need to be back at the level of the ball. Davina needs to help. Hannah, you had the opportunity to help to the weak side block or hot spot. A few times in this video during transition defense, we really get back. Great hustle. Here we have 3 people. For the most part, I thought we did reasonably well with the screens. Hannah, remember to show, and we were switching. To see Cassie and weak side help, but probably a little bit overcommitted, and we give up the weak side block. As the shot goes up, I see 1.5 blockouts. Here again, we do reasonably well. We play defense for about 19 seconds. We limit the penetration, keeping them out of the paint. Here we do well with both the screen and the roller. Here, what are we going to do with the post? Are we going to front, half front, top side? When we do help, they find the hot spot, and Cassie could have got there a little sooner. Here they create a screen way out front, away from the basket, and then they start to attack. Grace probably could have helped a little bit, Marielle shows, and then Renee, again a little bit sooner down to the hot spot. The shot, I really only see one rebounder or block out. Good job on the switch, dealing with the roller and denial. We reduce penetration, get our hands up on the entry pass. We get a half front and a good help side from Grace and Ali. They run a handoff here and then try and attack the paint. Our help side, Ali and Grace, could have been a little bit more in the middle because Elena has to help and then gets out of the play. They get an easy one on the back end. Here Kay shows on the stunt and actually pushes her back out. Not sure Marielle has to help here, or at least commit that much, although Leah does get back on the hot spot, weak side block. The first part of this looks pretty good to me as far as keeping the ball out and responding to movement by the ball and also the players. I would have preferred a hard trap here. These kinds of reaches create fouls. On the rebound, I only count 2 blockouts. In this sequence, I think we do reasonably well about keeping them out, dealing with the screens, switching, just preventing penetration. It allows us to run, or them to run 19 seconds on the shot clock. They eventually take a shot, but I don't count any box outs. When stunting, the stunter has to be level with the ball or behind it so she can see it. Remember, we'd like to keep them out, but when we do help, we want to help outside the paint. On their out of bounds plays, they really are trying to penetrate into the paint by using screens and handoffs. Renee does 2 good jobs here as far as slowing that down. Eventually they shove it out. Really get after the loose ball here. Good work. In this sequence, I think we do a reasonable job, and we do get beaten on the baseline. She uses Euro step, so with that, we really got to use our feet to stay in front. Looking at transition D, we really need everyone to really bust back hard. We look at stunting. Initially, Ali's a bit too deep, but Renee forces 14 back to the middle, and Ali picks up the steal. Is charged earlier, but here we get a second one by Marielle just staying in front and using her feet. Have a look at the 8-second count here. By having her turn 5 or 6 times, it really is effective. Look at the shot clock. There's 2 seconds left on that 8 seconds. Depending on how aggressive we are, to reduce that pass, and we need some rotation on the back end. That'd be Davina and Renee. Here they're out of bounds play. They're just trying to attack the middle through their screens and handoffs. And if they get successful here, but if we could be a bit more aggressive, might be better. This is one of the few instances where they hit the screener on the roll. Things here, Cassie could have played it better, and the weak side defenders, Kay and Hannah, could have done a better job. I only see 1 box out. This is another transition defense. We really have to hustle back, and we try to keep her out of the paint. In this sequence, if we could move our feet like both Leah and Renee and keep that penetration out, I think we'd be pretty good. We don't handle the handoff as well, but it's not too bad. These are another instances where we keep the ball out, and our responsiveness to the ball and player movement is pretty good. We get a reasonable closeout, and actually 3 of the 5 box out or get some body on somebody. Here we're going to look at transition D. When the shot goes up, we have some options here. Somebody should be back. In this case, it was Renee or Grace. The good part here, both Bree and Davina really chased down this girl. Their sideline out of bounds play. Again, it's penetration, usually from this side. At least this is where we've seen it. We've done a good job keeping it out here. And actually what happens, because of the solid defense, they actually get into a shot clock violation. The last 2 sequences here, just to show a couple things, we really get outrun. And the other one is just dealing with the Euro step. It's not something we're going to see very often, but know that stopping the ball outside the paint is a good option.